myself have to. I will literally die. I'll do that for my art.
And here we go. We are rolling. This is a special Vinyl Vandals broadcast. It's not a favourite five. It is a special one, and you'll find out what that special one is in a minute. My name is King Fred, and I'm going to pass it down to my colleague below me, who is...
I'm DJ Riddler, Vinyl Vandals, resident DJ, radio DJ, live DJ, and I'm happy to introduce these two guys who we've got with tonight. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Me?
That was a Mexican standoff. We literally didn't pay attention from the start, but both said that we understood it. John, you introduce yourself, although I've technically just introduced you. I'm John.
You were through.
Right. Okay. Who's got? Right. Okay. I'm John Dyer. I take care of all the artwork. No, I'm Uncle Mic Nitro, or just Mic Nitro, or just Alex, because it's my name. And and I'm an alcoholic. So yeah, there we go. I also make music here and there. I'm not a resident anywhere apart from where I live. There you go, John. Over to you. Take it.
My name's John Dyer. Like anybody cares. AKA Digital Dyer. And our colouring.
Yeah, some interesting colouring it is too as well. Okay. This is a Vinyl Vandals special. It is to talk with Uncle Mic Nitro about his forthcoming album, which we'll find out about in a minute. So we're absolutely over the moon that Uncle Mic Nitro has asked to come on a Vinyl Vandals show to talk about his album. That's a major coup for us. So thanks very much for agreeing to this, Alex, to do this. So my first question, I suppose, so we'll just get straight into it. My first question would be, for those who don't know, and I'm going to be honest, I knew about you through Riddler, because Riddler always champions your music. So I knew about you through Riddler. I didn't know about you, through other methods, how other people know about how people get a hold of music and stuff. It's Riddler that's always passing me stuff and saying, have you heard this, have you heard that? When we go to the Five Boroughs, which is Riddler's little setup where he broadcasts from, he's played your music and stuff, so he's introduced me to you. Can you tell us a little bit about your hip-hop history? Who is Uncle Mic Nitro? How did he get into hip-hop?
Wow. How long we got? I mean, I started getting into it from an early age, like from the age of about 7, really like young, 7, 8, and that's how I kind of got into it. And I got into it early. I'll just break this down quickly because otherwise it's going to be forever. Through same way as a lot of people, probably just through the breakdance side of things. I was more into breaking, and that would have been through movies, like the breaking movies, and your Wild Styles of Beat Streets and things like that. And I was always kind of I was sucked in by the kind of just the vibe of it, the break dancing, and probably the clothing was what I was into. I mean, to be honest, I still kind of dress the same as what I did, when I first got into it, which is, the same trainers, same kind of tracksuit, same clothes, same hats, things like that. So that's testament to that, I guess.
Now you're into Sweet Street.
Sweet Street. Nice. I'll set them up. You knock them out the park.
Just brace yourself. There's loads coming.
Brilliant. You've got notes. You got the notes, have you? Yeah, and I guess I just had big love for it all. When it started, and then I guess as a byproduct of being kind of drawn in by the breakdancing and the clothing and whatnot. Then followed was like more kind of love for the music, and then that kind of just took over. Probably because I was going to say, I can't swear, I was a bad break dancer. Jesus, this is going to be tricky for me to keep a lid on the bad language. Nearly notched it up straight away. But just drawn into the music, and then that kind of overtook especially the breakdance side of things. I was never. Although I was a fan, and I still am a fan of graph, and a fan of the art of DJing and whatnot. But for me, the passion was kind of like the music, and then primarily from that was out of that music was the was the rapping, I guess, and that was
Okay.
that kind of led me in, and that's the kind of base of it, which then led me into, you know, being a kid trying to rap, you know, from a very early age, and as I went into that, I think early memories I have. I mean, I've got an early memory of being in France on a holiday with my mum and dad, and it was when the World Cup. It was what was the World Cup? Was it God? When would this have been? It could have been. Was it Italia '90? Was it Italia '90?
Italia '90, yeah. England done quite well in Italia '90, yeah.
That World Cup. Well, how old would I have been then? How old would I have been then? Jesus, it might have even been before that. I can't remember. Or it might have been a year. But I remember there was a football tournament on there, and I was young. You know, I was young, and how I started kind of getting into rap again, which is probably similar to a lot of people, was kind of geeking out and writing down the lyrics to a lot of things, like, especially like Rakim. Rakim was who I used to listen to, and I'd have my mum's Alba cassette, personal cassette player, which was about this big. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was a satchel. And then I'd just be listening to the lyrics, rewinding it, playing it, writing it down, learning it, and that kind of then stepped me into me starting to write stuff and being a really, really terrible rapper to start with. And probably some people probably still think I am. Fair enough. Do you know what I mean? It's probably I can't argue with some of it sometimes, but but yeah, that's how it was. And then it just progressed, and then I just got into it a bit heavier. I mean, it's obviously cutting it down, but then met up with a guy called Lee Mintram, who goes under the name of Featurecast, who's a really good producer. He kind of makes kind of dancey hip hop stuff now as well. He's done really big things. He's done adverts for like Apple and things like that. He's just a quality producer, and that's when we did the Dark Craftsman stuff. He produced that album. There's loads of little things off of that. You know, initially we were going to do a deal with Catskills Records, if you know them, based in Brighton, but then they wanted to do like a half vocal, half instrumental album, which didn't really suit me, really, because you know, as a rapper, you kind of go, what's the point? What's the point in not having half of it? So then Lee went and did his things there, and that's what led to him, really, with him doing the Apple adverts and things like that for the iPods when they first came out. But then we sort of like we kind of like just carried on and just held back, and then I ended up linking up with DJ Halo on a really random one, because I was running a record shop in Southampton, and he just came in one day, and I was a fan of TCM back in the day, you know, when we were growing up. I was on Minds. Yeah. So I was a massive fan of theirs, and I used to listen to them a lot, probably on my mum's Walkman, same thing. But, you know, just things like that, hip-hop tactician. And I always remember it, and like, and when he come in and he sort of like introduced himself. His name's Tony, and he was living in Southampton, and he come up to me, and we were just talking, and he said like, as he introduced himself, because we got talking about hip hop stuff, and I said, well, I'm working on stuff, and he said, well, I'm from a group called Criminal Minds, and I was like, oh really? I know them. I was really into them, and I remember him saying to me, oh yeah, I am DJ Halo, and I was like, what? Halo upon the decks get vexed, rock. Like, and he was like, yeah, that's it. And I was like, yeah, I love that shit, you know, because wait, one point.
Right. Keep going.
Right, but that, you know, so that was kind of where that was at, and that was kind of like a mad thing, because yeah, I always remember that Halo upon the decks get vexed, rock, and when he just came in cutting and on that hip hop tactician, it was just an amazing. It had so much energy, you know, from a kind of I don't mean 2-bit crew, but a kind of cut and paste crew from Milton Keynes. Do you know what I mean? That are coming out doing stuff, and then that's when I played in the demos, or the kind of demo stuff that I was doing with the Dark Craftsman stuff. And he really liked it, wanted to sign it, and the rest went from there. We did the first 12, which was the True Vandal 12, followed by the Creepshow EP. Then there was a bit of a weird one. I don't really know what happened. We didn't really fall out, although we didn't speak again. So maybe we did fall out. I'm not sure. No, we didn't fall out. I just haven't seen him. I don't know what happened. There was just something that just happened. And because we were going to put the album out on like double vinyl through. He had a label called UK Rap Records, which is what the Widowmaker stuff came out, which was some other TCM stuff, and also there was some Killer Instinct stuff. I might sneeze. Hang on, maybe not. But like, so that was that was, so we were going to do the album, but then it just didn't happen. So then that kind of sat in limbo for a while, and eventually Riz or Eastbourne picked it up. He was running like Drop Zone Records up in based in Glasgow, and that's why I've got quite a lot of good connections up in Scotland with people up there from people like Bose, Crash Slaughter, and people like that.
Yeah.
And Conscious, who is Mr. Defy's son. And I've got a big love for a lot of the Scottish artists and Scottish hip hop. I really rate what they're doing. I think they're probably the most, the kind of people that have maintained probably the most integrity with hip hop possibly in the world. And they're quite overlooked often. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But so he picked it up, and then we released it on CD. CD, which I had one in the oven earlier on, so it was ready. No, it was just there. It was just there, available from me. I'm on for $10.99. No, I don't know. I just got given a box of them a while ago. But so then it got released on CD. That was it. Well, that was it. Then I went and did this group called the Pickpockets thing, which was a bit more commercially viable. And this is off the back of that album. There was a couple of instrumentals that we never worked on for the Dark Craftsman stuff. I linked up with a couple of pals of mine, a guy called MC Rec and a guy called Steve Keefe, who was a singer. We happened upon forming this. We didn't really form the group. We just did a track, which was featuring Rec, me on it, and then Steve singing on it. And it got kind of picked up very quickly. It got picked up by Radio 1 Extra that had just come into, they'd just been born really at that time, was when they just started. And for somehow, I can't remember how they picked it up. And it was on it got on their like A-list playlist, and it was getting played all the time. And one thing led to another. And it was quite a rapid sort of like quick succession of being swept off your feet into the kind of major industry. And before you know it, we were like endorsed by Nike. We had the same management as the Sugar Babes and the Shaman and the Prodigy, and we were managed by the same people that just did solicitors were the same people as the Prodigy and things like that. Management were the same people. I was managed by Alan McGee at one stage, who was a guy responsible for Creation Records and Oasis, and we were on tour with the Black Eyed Peas when they were the biggest selling band in the world. We were kind of going around. We did a week-long UK tour with Ice-T on his SMG tour, which is a Sex, Money and Guns tour, which obviously, if you want someone to support that, then obviously what you want is some middle-class white kid from South Africa. I could talk about sex. Yes.
Where did it all go wrong?
Well, most people would say drugs and women and drink and things like that. Yeah, that. So,
okay.
No.
Can I stop you there?
It wasn't any women. It wasn't any women.
That's quite a comprehensive history of so far, which really.
Well, that's it. Yeah, crack on. I mean, you might want to take a pause there because, like I say, we've only just got up to 2000.
That was fantastic. That's brought we're quite up to enough where I wanted to get to anyway. So that's great. Before we get into talking about your album, I'd just like to ask you. So you've said your name's Alex. Yeah, that's your name. Where does Uncle Mic Nitro come from?
Good stuff.
What's that?
Yeah. Uncle Mike. No, go on. Sorry, what? Yeah.
So basically, where does Uncle Mic Nitro fit into being called Alex? How does that come about?
Well, Alex is my name. Alex also was born Alex, and the Uncle Mike Nitro. I don't know. Do you know what it was? I was in the Dark Craftsman stuff.
Go on, sorry, there's a bit of a delay, sorry, but what I'm saying is, how does Alex turn into Uncle Mic Nitro? How did you become Uncle Mic Nitro?
Oh, initially I was my first like name was like Technique, which was in the Dark Craftsman.
Yeah.
Or Lord Technique. Wanted it to sound a bit better than Technique. Just put Lord on it. And then what it was, I had like it works honestly. Stick Lord at the beginning of your name. It works. Well, obviously not for you. Not for you, King Fred. That'd be a benefit. Demotion. That'd be a demotion.
Lord, yes, exactly.
Put Lord on the end of mine.
But then so I had that name Technique, and to be honest, I had a bit of a hiatus away from working on music and just set up a couple of businesses and just wasn't really focusing on it. I was still writing bits and bobs, but I wasn't really I wasn't releasing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started knocking out some like kind of, they're not called freestyles, but you know what I mean, like just rapping to a laptop and just things that I'd written whilst drunk one evening or whatever, and I'd just be writing, you know, rapping the things. And quite a lot of people that were kind of like quite big in UK hip hop turned around and said, "You need to come back and start making some more music. You know, you need to start doing it." I can't remember. It's like, was it Mellow, Bose? Like quite a few people were just like commenting, going, "Oh, you should get this, start doing stuff and get it back out there." And at that point, it was changing because the Dark Craftsman music, that album, available $10.99. No, that album is musically, it's amazing. It's incredible. The production on it is outrageous. It really is, because Feature Cast is just a beast. It's just crazy. But my stuff on it, I mean, I don't know. I was young. I was 20, you know, doing it, and I didn't have anything to rap about. So it was quite, you know, rapping about goblins and wizards and weird stuff in a slightly weird accent. Not goblins, you know what I mean? It was just all quite fantasy-based stuff, and I didn't know what to write about, really. You know, I hadn't really found myself to what to do because I was still a kid, really. And my accent was a bit weird, probably because I was influenced by heavily from the earlier days of people like K-Sly and Bullet that had a bit of a twang, you know, like, so it was a bit like, yeah, you know, like, and it wasn't quite me. Whereas like now I just kind of rap a bit, you know, obviously more in line with, you know, how I am, sort of thing. But that was just a product of my environment at the time. And so then after coming back from doing the Dark Craftsman stuff and having that law technique, I didn't feel the same, like I was the same person from doing it. And I just wanted to just have a clean start, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I just wanted to change the name. So I was just trying to think of something that sounded all right, and I came up with Mic Nitro, or, you know, Mic Nitrogen, and I thought that was all right. And then as I was old and getting fatter and older, I thought stick Uncle on it, then it kind of buys you a bit of time. We would go, "Oh, you're old and fat." So look at the name; it says it, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It's a good answer.
You really golden era.
You really golden era. It was. I tell you what. When I was nephew Mic Nitro.
so John.
Okay. So moving along a bit.
Well, this is a waste of time. I'll be back in a minute.
We're here to talk about your album, your new album. When is your album coming out?
Was this to me or John?
That's
or
to
me?
When's your album coming out?
Oh, the new album, end of next month.
End of next
month.
month. You haven't got a proper date yet, though, no?
End of January, I'm told. We've got the test presses. Well, funny enough, I think John's got a full test press with the artwork. I've got the test press, but I haven't got the artwork. You've got it, haven't you? So we've got those back. Okay. So, there you go. Look, so that's the test press artwork, as you can see. I don't like to do it. Do you know what the most ironic thing is? Is that I don't actually, John will tell you this, he won't do now because he'll go against the grain now because he just knows it'll make me look like an absolute div. But I really don't like self-promotion, right? Which looks ridiculous as I'm sat here, as me, where I put my new album on with John, with all of that. With all like painting with it all on there. So I do look like a div.
So, as we're talking about your album, yeah, so do you want to tell everybody who's watching what the name of your album is?
Yes, it's Vincent On Horseback.
And why is it called Vincent On Horseback?
You know drink, right?
Yes,
most of my things start with, I was really hammered one night. Mm-hmm. Right. So I was thinking about what to call the album, obviously. Now, the last album I did, which we haven't talked about yet, which is an amazing album, allegedly. No, it is a good album, which we should talk about possibly before this as well. It's a Mind State Krakatoa album. But that album, Mind State Krakatoa, just sounds like a hip-hop album. You know what I mean? Hey! Artwork's a bit ropey. John has left the chat. So they don't swear. So I was looking at some other titles of this album. I had Super Crocodilogue Volume 1, of which I was only ever going to do one volume, but I thought it'd be funny to do it. And then people go, "Where's Volume 2 coming out?" But it's not. Super Crocodilogue. What else did I have? Where the Monster Is, because that's named after one of the tracks, which I quite liked. Rorschach Temper, I liked. But then that was based off of a track called Rorschach Temper, which I've done, which hasn't gone out on anything. So, and it didn't go on the album, didn't make it on the album, so that would have been kind of pointless. Although Son of Noise did it. I always say this, Son of Noise did it. Son of Noise.
Every one of those album titles you taught me to start on, and it was a
yeah, exactly.
I didn't do anything on any of them.
Yeah, exactly. But just to go back to it, Son of Noise did that because, like I said, I was going to call it Rorschach Temper, and I thought that was quite cool. Like I said, I did a track called Rorschach Temper, but that didn't make the album, so I thought it doesn't make sense. But then I did think Son of Noise did it because Son of Noise album was called Mighty Son of Noise, wasn't it? Mighty Son of Noise, their first album.
Yeah.
They've got a track called Mighty Son of Noise, but the Mighty Son of Noise track isn't on the album Mighty Son of Noise. Anyway, moving on. So then I was just possibly drunk one night, maybe, and I was watching TV, and there was a clip of The Godfather 3, right, that came up.
Yeah.
And it was the bit at the end. It was the bit when they're at the Mardi Gras, and and Vincent goes to assassinate Joey Zaza, right? And basically, I was watching it, and as I was watching it, like the kind of New York Mounted Police geezer just gallops past, and I was like looking at it, and I was like, and it just sparked in my head, and it went, that's not, because I had seen the film a couple of times before, and I was like, that's not that isn't a New York Mounted Policeman. That's and I was going, what's his name? And I can't remember. And I was like, that's him. That's his character in disguise. You know, dressed up so he can go and assassinate that geezer. Yeah. And I was like, right, okay. So then I started Googling on my computer. Right, I was going, what's the name of this guy? And it was like Vincent. And I liked the imagery, right? So I just typed on Vincent on horseback into Google. And it brought up the image that I like, which is where he's got the gun and things like that. And as I was looking at it, I was like, I really like the title Vincent on horseback. I was just something about it when I typed it. I was like, I like it, and it's different. It doesn't have anything to do with the album, I thought, until watching the film again. Because as I was saying, I said to John, who was probably drunk as well, let's do this. This is a great idea. To which he's gone, yeah, this is brilliant. And out of all the other ideas that he didn't work on, he decided to do some work on that. And then I kind of forgot about it. Then he come back to me with some of the ideas, and I was like, better go with that then. So it's like,
okay. I'll just stop you there.
It was good. Okay.
Stop you there and enter John. So with that remit...
I'm not going to enter John.
So John, do you want to come in here now and talk about your...
You can't say that.
The process. For
you've been...
Yeah.
Can I share my screen?
You can't. I don't know how you.
Yes, John.
I'll have to give you permission. I can't remember how you do it on here. One second.
Host the table.
1 second, because the internet connection's unstable.
So am I.
Unstable Mic Nitro.
No,
that's the next album.
No, sorry, I've done it wrong. I'll do it again. I've made you host, Michael. Michael, you need
to. What am I doing?
No, I'm trying to make John the host now.
John, you've ruined this for everyone.
Michael.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you click on your screen and make? Because I made you host by mistake. I meant to make John host. Can you make John host? If you click on it.
Do I unpin myself?
John, click on John's picture.
Yeah.
Not you.
Oh.
Be Riddler, isn't it? Is it Riddler?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm clicking on John's picture, but it's not letting me click on it. It's only letting me click on...
Riddler's got to do it. It's not you. Not you, Alex.
Oh, right, okay.
Riddler. You got it, Riddler?
Is that right?
You got it now, John?
Hang on.
It's on John now. It's on me now.
Talking about, no, it says host disabled, attendee screen sharing.
It knows you then.
Yeah, well, go on, then you can do it now then. You can screen share now.
Doesn't work.
Damn.
Okay, well.
So if you're the host, you have to enable screen sharing.
Who's the host?
Fred.
Okay. Well, should put some background music on while we're waiting.
Actually.
This album's available. Are you sure? Well,
Fred, your mic's off.
There you go, John, your host now.
Yeah, you're back on.
Right. Talk about something for a couple of seconds. I've got to reset the password.
Right. While you're doing that, I will talk about to you just to talk about the concept about the album. What's the actual concept of the album?
you don't drink. No, it's there isn't like, to be honest, there is this. See, the last album, Mind State Krakatoa.
Yeah.
Cue Riddler with the pick. Nice. That's quite themic. You know, it kind of goes through. It's got quite a dark theme to it.
Yeah.
And it has a sound. But then I work with like 80% of that album was produced by the same guy, so it's got that kind of feel to it, you know, which is working with a very close knit, gang of people. And so when Simon said about like doing another album or whatever, I didn't know, you know, because I only really wanted to do that album, the Mind State Krakatoa one, because that was the thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to do another album, and you know, this is going back to when people say do stuff, and because I've been writing stuff, I hadn't done it. But I had a bit of momentum because I already had like tracks written and ideas. Now most of them didn't make that album, but I had the momentum. So I went in and then I linked up with Ryan McMahon, who produced like most of the album, along with myself and Ollie Knight. And then and Jabba and DJ Tones that are obviously doing the cuts and things like that. But that had a theme, had a fairly dark theme to it. You know, it's a fairly dark. It's not all dark. I don't know how to explain it, but it's got a theme. It sounds like a body of work for an album. But I didn't want to do the same thing with this, so I kind of intentionally steered away from trying to have a kind of theme. Yeah. So I just wanted to do. That's why I kind of got a few featured artists on board for this one, because I just wanted to get in contact with people that I was a fan of, or people that I knew, whatever, and just kind of do some tracks really, and I just wanted to see how it went, you know. And it kind of was going to be not a compilation album, but I just wanted to do something a bit different, you know, because I did the Dark Craftsman album, I did the Mind State Krakatoa album, I've done a couple of other albums. You know, with other things, the Pickpockets one didn't get released, whatever. But like, so I've done enough stuff, and I wanted to do something different. So that's where I got contacted. Like, who was I? I was a fan of like Juggernaut, fan of Kalashnikov, obviously, fan of Ramson Bad Bones.
Can I just interrupt you there while you've just started going on to that? I've got the list here of how many people's on this album, and it's a flipping canny. It's a canny trainload of people. Yeah, some that I know really well, and other ones that I haven't heard of, but I'm not sure if they're rappers as well, or if they're singers, or if they're DJs. So, do you mind if I just go through the list? Are you all right if I just go through the list? Yeah. So, Said G, that's a major coup. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Said G was on Mind State Krakatoa.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Q Riddler, right? Said G was on that, and basically, like, you know, a lot of these people these days, you know, there's I just reached out to people, you know, via Facebook and whatnot, and I was like, you know, because it's kind of like that thing where if you don't ask, you don't get, you know.
True.
And I just spoke to people, and so from the first album, like I say, Said G was on there, and I got him to do an intro. I've got a version of there's a track on Mind State Krakatoa called Eye of the Storm, which quite a lot of people like from that album. And I've got a version of that with Said G on it, but it just didn't work. You know, it wasn't really working. And the original feel of Eye of the Storm is, I mean, it sounds bad to say that it, you know, with your own stuff that it's good, but it is a good record. Eye of the Storm is, you know, and like it just didn't feel right to have that. But there's a version with him on it, so we did a version of that, and then I asked him to just do, because Back to Basics, that track which has got Q-Rock on and
Chrome.
And Chrome.
Yeah.
So because that's talking about, it's an old school thing. I always like to do. This is where I could just go into. There's so many different kind of things I could go into, but I don't like the term Britcore. I just like. For me, it's just hip hop, right? But for me, it was just the hip hop that I got into when I was young.
Yeah.
Was the early hard UK stuff. That's what I was into. You know, that's what I liked, and I didn't see it as anything different. It was just hip hop. It didn't matter to me whether it was like Son of Noise or De La Soul. For me, it was just hip hop. I didn't try and kind of pigeonhole anything. You know, it was just different forms, right? So, but what I do like to do when I do these things, because I come from that, I like to kind of you know crack a little homage to it. You know, so that's why Back to Basics. But this is the problem that I had with some of the Dark Craftsman stuff, because the Dark Craftsman isn't a Britcore album, but T2000 on it was an homage to the Britcore sound. But most people know that album from that record because people like that record, right? And so it kind of got pigeonholed as being a bit Britcore, but it isn't a Britcore album at all. I'm not a Britcore artist. I'm just an artist. That's all it is. There we go. Yeah, so T2000 has just been released this year because people wanted it, you know, on 7, because it's a record that people have wanted for a long time. But so anyway, so I was doing an homage with the Back to Basics thing, which is, you know, so I got Chrome and I got Q-Rock, and actually it was when I got Q-Rock on board, same thing. I just hit him up on Facebook and we got talking. I think it probably took me about 2 years of going, do you want to come out of retirement and feature on this record? No. Do you want to do it? No. Do you want to do it? No. Do it? No. Do it. Do it? No. 2 years on, he's gone, right, I'll do it. And I was like, cool, right? And that's kind of how that worked. But I got him to, we'd done that, we bagged that record before he did the that RIP track with Supreme.
Yeah.
So it looks like that RIP thing, I think, was like the first thing he'd done coming back. But actually, I think you find that the Back to Basics thing was the first thing that he'd done coming back. So for me, it was a bigger coup than it actually gets props for, you know, because that RIP record was so dope. It was a dope record, and the remix of it was dope with everyone on. Very good couple of records, you know. And big up to, you know, Q-Rock, and big up to Soups, you know, for that. Brilliant. I went up to the video shoot for that RIP thing. I went up there to meet up with AJ from Hard Noise, and I went up there with Bandog from Killer Instinct, because he's a good pal. I don't speak to him that much anymore these days, as much, but he's a great geezer as well. But so again, going back to it, so I was just doing an homage for the old style of stuff, and that Back to Basics, you know, especially if you check my verse, it talks about, you know, the breaking, the graph, just DJing, just everything, and just kind of the whole Back to Basics thing was a whole kind of just a nod back to where it was, but it was a little bit more kind of just drums and rapping, scratching, whatever. So then I thought, when I last said G, I said, well, do you want to introduce it? So if you listen to that record and you hear said G, it's quite a mad little intro.
Yeah.
It's got a real feel of kind of like early New York, you know, and talking, and the way that he goes on about stuff is crazy, you know. And so that's where he was. So I'd already been speaking with Said G. This is a long answer, isn't it, for you to ask me just about Said G? This is the first one on the list. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? I'm not going to give one-word answers for stuff. But we've been speaking for a long time, you know. And with regards to a lot of these artists on board, you know, some of, you know, I try and pay everyone. I try and pay people. The funny thing what I find with UK hip hop, just to address this early, is I find it funny that sometimes people frown upon it when they go, "Oh, I bet you paid for these features." It's like, what the fuck are you going on about? Of course I paid for them. I don't know them. Hey, Dave, do you want to come and tile my kitchen? You know, do you want to do it for free? I know I don't know you, but do you want to do it for free? Of course not. Why wouldn't you want to pay people? Do you know what I mean? Or try and make try and do what you can do. But you know, there's a few people that didn't. But Said G on this album was like, no, don't worry about it. He did it, and that's when he did that verse on Bod Gets Slapped Up. Now the original Bod Gets Slapped Up isn't on the new album. It's the remix. It's the Crash Slaughter remix, which is on there, which is a bit weird. But Crash Slaughter's done an amazing job. But obviously it's called Bod Gets Slapped Up because the original Bod Gets Slapped Up samples Bod from that whistle thing from Bod.
T-shirts dried.
Right. So that was. So do you know what I mean? It's like So that's a bit of a weird, but yeah, having said G on there is cool. Obviously, he's a legend from Ultramagnetics, legend, and also a legendary producer, which people kind of sometimes overlook. If you look at production credentials, you'll feel if you don't know, get to know. But there you go. Number one. What's the time now? 4:30 in the morning. John's t-shirt, John's Christmas lights. All the bulbs have gone.
Are you ready, John?
I am.
Okay, over to you.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So who's talking about? So anyway, so if I just introduce this to then John can take over. So this is it. So this was when I was searching. Now it all makes sense. This is actually very good now. This was the image that I really liked, right? This is the image that I really, really liked. And I said to John, this would make a dope album cover with the title Vincent on Horseback. And then, so I gave it to John to play with. And then John kind of just took it in and just, if you're aware of John's work and if you know the kind of stuff that he's done with the kind of, the mod stuff, the indie bands, and the hip hop stuff, you'll know what his style is, his artwork style of those types of prints that he's done. So he then took it, and then John, I'll take it over to you, and then you go from there.
So he just landed this nightmare on us this day. It's going to be called Vincent on Horseback. Gave us the background about why it was called that. So obviously, I need to find a photograph of Andy Garcia on a horse from The Godfather. Now, he doesn't actually even appear as a full figure on horseback in the film. So there was my first problem. So I basically had to recreate him sitting on the horse. But we always said we wanted it on black, or Alex did. And I always thought it'd be nice on black, but once it went on black, I just didn't like it. I still don't.
Yeah.
You sort of lose it, don't you?
Yeah.
Aye, it's just a bit lost for me. There's no reason for it to be on black.
All right, calm down.
Yeah.
All right.
I
said do it on pink. No, I didn't. Ruin it.
So then Alex just sort of said, right, just go through all the colours of the rainbow. Now he said he actually referenced Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. Was it Tusk or Rumours? Anyway, the colour of that. So that was that.
Yeah, which is or Albatross. I can't remember what it is now. I can't remember. It's either Rumours or Albatross, I think. Oh no, Jesus Christ, I don't know. But it was that off-white. It's just that kind of off-white.
Yeah, that's Rumours. That
Rumours, yeah.
I didn't like that, and Alex just said, "Nah, it's not popping." I mean, within that process, I did chuck that in because I thought it was quite fun. Because if you listen to the album, it's so sort of, I don't know, it's got a bit of everything. It's got a bit of fun. It's quite serious. It's, and I just thought that subject was quite serious. It could just do with like a little fun element to it. Just a
little bit of lightening up, right? Yeah. Because you were actually unsure about it, weren't you? Do you remember? That's that was the album title.
Well, that was what was going through my mind after that. He said, well, try it green, try it grey, try it black, try it white.
This is so good. Brilliant.
And then we went on to put like a bit of a grunge on the background. I still wasn't feeling any of these, and I just thought, I love the illustration, I love the subject, I love the title, and I love the bang gun. And I just felt like I was going around in circles and nothing was working.
Yeah.
And then Alex said, well, none of these are working for me either. I just want, if it's on a record shelf, I want it to jump out. And I thought, do you know what it is? I'll just give him what he wants. And I put a shocking pink in. And I thought, well, actually, I was taking the piss there, but it works.
Yeah.
And
out of all of them, it was the one that just literally, like, straight away when I saw them, I was like, that's the one that just works. That just works.
I mean, it's not your typical hip hop album, but then
What
I
is?
never wanted it to be, because I
What is?
just get so sick
Yeah.
of looking at cliche hip hop
Yeah,
album
yeah.
artworks.
Yeah.
You know, a few bullet holes, bit of broken glass, barbed wire.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the pink looks like. It looks like the background of Nevermind the Bollocks.
Yes.
The pink
yeah.
one.
We've all done well on this. I just want to commend everyone on this keeping the swearing to a minimum, though. We've done really well here. So yeah.
So yes.
But yeah, no, you're right.
There was actually there was a stage before that actually.
Well, there was different backgrounds, wasn't there? There's different backgrounds that you did before it.
Yes, because I quite liked it being sort of sketched. 2 seconds.
This is a bit dicey, isn't it? Show what you got on your thumbnails. I couldn't do that on my laptop. Jesus. Oh yeah, this is great. This is a waste of time, wasn't it?
Actual lyrics in the background.
That would be good inside, though. If it was a gatefold.
Well, that would have been the back, so that you'd have the bit with the fag packet on it. This was John's idea, by the way.
Yeah.
But in discussion, it sounded like it could potentially be a good idea, didn't it, John? It sounded like it could be a good idea.
It's just becoming a bit of a mess. So just
yeah,
you know, like there's a lot of 80s influences in Alex's work.
Yeah.
And I just thought with that, it covers all bases, I think. It's got a little bit of an 80s thing to it. And that's the inner sleeve.
All right, cool.
So,
and then you've got the other bit of the inner sleeve, which is like because the gun is just a reference to what Vincent's holding, and also it kind of, I was a bit unsure about the gun thing as well, but like it signifies the kind of, it's got the other artwork wrapped around it, plus it's relevant to what Vincent's holding, but also it draws attention to a kind of deconstruction of the cliche. I know that sounds a bit wanky, bringing back into swearing, but like if you understand that, it kind of, so as I was looking at it, and also what you've got there, if you see there, yeah, is my son, and I took this picture, that's my son there, right, and I just took a picture of him, and it just looked like a really good picture. Yeah. So I think he's a good looking boy, do you know what I mean? And obviously I love him, and I just wanted him, like, I just thought, you know, if I get him on there, it kind of immortalizes it, you know. It kind of gets him on there. So and I've got a massive picture of that. Yeah, there you go. There he is.
Nice one.
He's on the album as well, isn't he? Is he on one of the tracks on the album right at the end? Yeah.
Honestly, Riddler, you're smashing this at coming in at the right times. Honestly, we're like going live. The way that we're bouncing off is brilliant. Yeah, he is, because I've got him. There's a track called "Where the Monster Is," and that track is all about. It talks about the kind of broken relationship of where, you know, me and his ex, because we're not together. Me and his ex, no, not his ex. We weren't together. Me and my ex. Obviously, like so, and it talks about that, but it's in a kind of I don't know, contemporary adult format. You know, you like kind of it talks about things kind of. It's a love song. Yeah, that's not me. I don't beat him.
Do you want to explain yourself?
Yeah, yeah. But
I was listening to that one today, and what I was writing notes as I was listening to it. And what I wrote was, it's not a love song, it's a song of love.
Yeah, exactly, and that's and one of the it's called, one of the working titles of it was "Songs About Love."
Yeah. Oh,
but if you're aware of love, then you know that love isn't always, very often isn't like a walk in the park and exchanging roses and cheeky glances. You know, a lot of real love is based on a lot of turmoil. You know, and that's kind of where
it's as neon as it is grey, really.
Oh, here it comes! Look at this. Yeah, but you can't take the piss out of that, because I wrote that intentionally to be. Oh, anyway. But
John, straight in there. He's got a repertoire written down.
John, if you keep going, I'm going to order another bottle of red wine.
Thanks for that, John. So, on a serious note, John,
Great,
I think, you know, obviously you design for a lot of artists, like Alex has just said, not just hip hop. You do obviously there's a very much of a mod influence in that as well. So for you,
what a band, by the way! What a band, by the way!
Yeah.
And the second album is just the best for me, by the way. Demon Boy.
Exactly. We were talking about this the other day. I'll come back to you in a second, John. But I was talking about this the other day. People were talking about the first album being the best. I think the second album's better.
For me, honestly, when you're driving, take your time when you're gliding. Oh, mate, honestly. Yeah. So what you're rushing like a Russian for? Like, honestly, that for me, that album kills it. Original Guidance just is. It's like
same for me, definitely.
I tell you what, you need a mortgage to go and buy that album now.
I've got it.
Yeah, I know, but you see what it goes for, you know, like
I've got it. I've got a funny version of it. It's just like a DJ pressing one, so it's not like it hasn't got a picture or anything. It's just the record and 2 records in a sleeve.
It's just a dope album. And Debt, by the way, Debt for me, the 2 versions of Debt of one of the like that was a record again when you listen to it, like, you know, like that tune, man.
I had 2 copies of that. I don't know how I got 2.
When
sold one of them years ago for 120 quid.
Whoa!
You liar!
I did.
So Riddler, Riddler, the crack there, is that the latest crack? Is it?
No, this is from a few years ago. This
it's okay, just that one. That's a shame.
When John will tell you when he done these ones. So obviously, because John does a lot of UK hip hop artists, and like Alex said, he also does the mod groups, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So how did you just get into doing that then, John? Just
don't want you to say too much. I still want to interview you, John, for your favourite 5. So I want to talk about a bit more on there. So don't go into too much. But what I would like to say is, I've got some, as you know, I've got some of your stuff hanging up on my wall in my corridor there.
Yeah.
Love it.
And the corridor, I thought, was in the toilet.
Not in the toilet.
He's got pictures. What he meant to say was he's got pictures of you in his bedroom.
I'm not having you looking at me wee willy winky when I'm tinkling. I know you put bugs in, like all these people are doing with COVID. You'll be putting bugs in your pictures and watching people.
Well, I'll tell you how it started, the whole hip hop illustrations. I'll just briefly tell you.
Yeah.
I did it. I don't know if you remember the hijack piece that I did.
Yeah.
That was the very first one I did. And I used the back of the Style Wars cover.
Yeah.
Is that like the Rolling Stones thing? Did you do that? Or was that someone else?
That was AJ that done that.
Ah, right. Yeah.
That
was really good.
Anyway, it was that image anyway. So I redrew all 4 people from Hijack.
Yeah.
And I never finished it. It was quite unfinished, and it was a bit sort of just half done and a bit sketchy.
Yeah.
And quite a few people who've seen it were saying, "Oh, I love that style. I love how it's sort of slightly unfinished." I said, "Well, because it is unfinished, I haven't done it." And I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll get a few prints of that and see how I get on.
Yeah.
And then I thought I might see if I'll try eBay. So anyway, this guy got in touch with us. Turns out to be Neeraj.
Oh yeah.
He started asking us loads of questions. I don't know who this bloke was, and he says, "Oh, have you got image rights for this?" And I thought, who? And he says, "Have you got permission from DJ Supreme to sell these?" And I thought, "Do you want to buy it?" He says, "Yes, but have you got the rights to sell it?" I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll get in touch with Supreme. And I got in touch with Supreme, and basically he loved it, and it went from there.
Right.
Done a few bits for Supreme first.
Yeah. And
it just kind of gathered pace from there. And I just started getting in touch with more and more people through Neeraj and through Supreme. And here I am now, just plodding on. It's not my main job, but I just kind of do it as a hobby. And
they were loving it.
it's my only way of being involved in the hip hop industry, but I love it. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, we love it, obviously, because you do it, and obviously it gives us...
Far from being a video superstar.
Oh, that as well. I'm still from after for that. But I'd like to say, along the way, I've become very good friends with a lot of people, including yourselves, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got some really very close friends through this.
Yeah.
I mean, I can include Alex in that.
Well, thanks.
What I'd like to ask you, John, is I've always wanted to, you know, you've done your Hip Hop Legends, and obviously I've got your Hip Hop Legends one. I've got a T-shirt, and I've also got my photo as the picture, with everybody on.
Yeah.
But for me, there's some people missing, and is there any plans to do any more Hip Hop Legends, like pictures of other people?
Sorry, no, sorry. I'm joking. Honestly,
I always knew there was so many people missing from that poster.
Yeah.
But I had to draw a line somewhere and say, right.
You did say that a few annoying people would pick up on it, though.
Yeah. I thought it was always going to happen.
Of course it was. Yeah. But...
I mean, there's some people in there I just couldn't find photography of.
Yes.
Who do you think, Fred? Who do you think that should have been on there?
Well, for me, obviously, I'd like to see Rebel MC on there. I know that's probably controversial to some people, but I would like to see Rebel MC on there.
No, it was tough like an interesting little thing.
Yeah, I'd like to see Ruthless Rap Assassins.
Yeah.
On there.
A few people have said that.
No, they're not. They're not.
They're not?
Nah. No.
That's your first bad input of the day, Riddler. I don't want to see another one.
There is an updated
I can't think. I'd have to look at me.
Was Bandog on? It was Bandog in there, by the way.
No, Killer on there.
John has left the chat room.
I
don't even know. I've got the T-shirt.
I don't care. I've done it. It's just not included. I've done a mellow one. That should be on there. It's
Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And probably MCD and Black Radical as well. Just for my personal taste anyway. But yeah, I mean,
but like you said, John, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky when you're trying to do something. You've got like, and I guess what you were saying is it's the truth. It's trying to find a decent image, decent pictures. When you're dealing with stuff that's coming from back in that era, you're probably dealing with a lot of people that have taken pictures of pictures and uploaded them and things like that because
you can always do them. You can always do them characters on there. Look
at the arms.
And also, the problem was I needed iconic imagery, not
one of me holding a big chopper.
Yeah. So,
I
mean, I tell you who I do have to give a shout out. I've got to give a shout to Normski because without his photography,
that's true.
Good 80%.
Wow. How big? I guess we're all of a similar age. How big was Dance Energy, by the way? Jesus, if there was one program that I couldn't miss back in the day, was Dance Energy for sure. That was like you know, and it's the one thing I know. Specifics was starting. Specific from Beeline was trying to do like a. When he started doing this kind of TV show, I don't know. I think he's. I don't know what the situation is with him trying to carry on with it at the moment. But I said to him when he started doing it, I said that I think personally there's a massive gap in the market for something like that. That when you know that used to have that kind of flex. You know, basically kind of like a kind of I don't want to use the word urban, but you know a kind of a magazine show. That goes with, you know, that goes with the fashion, that goes with the music. Because what Dance Energy did for me, like back in the day, which I thought was brilliant, I used to clock it all the time, used to watch it all the time, would never miss it. And they used to have, and it wasn't just hip hop. It wasn't just hip hop. They used to play. They had dance. They had house, garage. Like they had everything on there. They had everything on there. But you would see Hijack on there. You would see Dream Warriors. You would see like. Yeah. I remember PM Dawn. PM Dawn did a watcher's point of view. That's a great record from PM Dawn, by the way. Like, you know, not Set Adrift, although whatever.
I think I may be getting mixed up. I'm thinking of Dance Days. Can you remember that?
Dance Days. I've got those on video. Yeah, Dance Days.
No, Dance Energy was Normski's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Syndicate was on.
That's
Syndicate
it.
was on, and John, what you're talking about, Syndicate was on, Mellow was on, Cash Crew were on. My dad's, funny enough, my dad, who's 89 in a week's time, he's got the videos of it. He's kept them videos.
I've got watch them. I haven't got a video.
I think you can probably find some bits every now and then. I'll go and clock one on YouTube or something like that.
I've got loads of videos and stuff that I'm going to put on the DVD, and I want to have a
it'd be great. It'd be just so dope to see those things. But that era was great. That era, you know, that watching Dance Energy for me was incredible. You know, Lords of Rap were on there.
Yeah.
I remember Hijack doing Syndicate Out of Jail.
Yes. I think for me,
Force and KG were on. Remember them? Force
and KG. Oh my God. Force and KG. Force is making dope stuff still. But back in the day, honestly, Force and KG or Ronin, whatever, Power, you know, and mate.
Ragga Twins were on there.
Ragga Twins, the most.
Yeah. I think the good thing about what I liked about Dance Energy was it wasn't sort of like trying to be like, oh, let's be urban and go on the back streets, like what you've said before, and be very twee, John, about being with glass and barbed wire, and let's do it in derelict buildings. It was a top of the pops type of set.
Exactly, it was the production value. The production value was
high
great.
class.
And
Spent some money on it. Yeah.
It treated like stuff that wasn't boosted on major labels, but everything had the same platform.
Yes, it did.
I think it really helped boost things up.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
I really miss it. I miss those days.
Apparently, that's thanks to Janice Street Porter as well. Janice Street Porter.
Well, they were together, weren't they? Were together, weren't they? So that makes perfect sense. But what a great program. For me, it's not. For me, I don't think it's been equalled. I mean, you had Ensign. You know, West were doing an Ensign. There was other few little bits.
You had The Word came out afterwards. The Word.
I was going to say The Word. I was going to say The Word, but I think that's more to do with. I think that's more to do with similar era, though, because obviously the word was just was a bit more of a kind of crazy late night show.
Yeah.
Lick shots to Amanda de Cadenet, by the way.
And what do you call it as well? Passenger, that came out as well, which was a bit more sort of like.
Do you remember whilst we were on it? Right, I have this conversation quite often because it's kind of like I find it kind of like mind-boggling a bit, but like I remember like getting up and watching the kids programs and like seeing, you know, obviously I was a kid at the time watching them, but I'm watching like Mantronics, and like, I remember watching Roxanne, Real Roxanne on Get Fresh.
Oh yeah,
remember that? Someone at the door. Hope it's not a bottle of wine.
Yes, Get Fresh was a good one. That was filmed in Cumbria, I think. And Big Audio Dynamite were on with Sippo. They were on Get Fresh. Right. He did the theme tune. He beatboxed over the theme tune at the start to Get Fresh. Don't know if you remember that.
Gaz Top, Get Fresh.
Was it
Gilbert? Was it Gilbert? Was it Gilbert the alien or whatever it was? That was dope. Centurions, the cartoon. Forget about it.
Came to the Metro Centre. Get Fresh.
Yeah, it did.
Get Fresh was dope, man. Get Fresh was
about one night.
And then before Dance Energy, you had that program called Behind the Beat.
I remember that. Yeah.
No.
Oh, you wouldn't remember it. It had like the live LL Cool J concert, and then they had the live Public Enemy one the next week after that.
Don't remember them.
Oh, it was amazing that.
But that type of era, I don't know whether it's because we're all getting older now. Do you know what I mean?
What I would say is we did have a show after that. I know it's after our time, but I like the energy of it, and I like and it was Channel U. I thought when they first
Channel U was dope. Do you remember I Get Wrecked, Tim Dog, KRS-One, watching I Get Wrecked on that. Oh my God. Now don't say nothing when I'm decking you're causing hysteria, been in more battles in America. But then obviously he went a bit weird and nobody likes him anymore. But yeah, that record was dope.
Does anybody remember, I think it might have been called Snub TV. No?
TV.
S something TV, because I remember seeing Crime Story, the gunshot.
All right.
I love that. So that 12's great.
Snub TV.
Can't remember it.
But yeah, going back to that, what you said, Fred.
Brand of it.
Channel U was dope. Channel U was dope. Channel U.
On that. I don't know.
Was it Channel?
That's the very first time
No,
I've seen that video. I love that video.
Was it Channel U? Was it Channel U? What was the one that had all the, like, was it Channel U?
Channel U heralded the start of grime and had some hip hop.
Channel U, no, I think I'm getting it wrong because Channel U was the kind of used to host loads of the early grime stuff.
That's right.
But,
Yeah.
what was the one before? There was a music channel. There's a music channel that you used to get on cable, right? And you put it on, and they had like so many like hip hop things on there. I used to watch it. I'd be like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what that
I think you could request the videos on there as well.
Yeah.
I think you could request the videos on there. Like they had a great like it was just an amazing selection. But I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm talking. No, that was probably 1997.
I definitely think there's a need and there's definitely a market for it. Obviously, not as big. Whoa, easy now.
That was it.
Oh, there we go. Snub TV Cult Music Show that unearthed the underground. All right, don't remember it. Cool.
There you go.
All right, then. So just to obviously go back to your album a bit, just to finish off. It's coming out probably in February. You said, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think so. I think it should be back like January. Do you want to go into the second one on the list? By the way, we done said G.
Yeah, well, we haven't got time to do all of them, but obviously the list goes on. Said G, Michael Parkinson, Kalashnikov, Joe Byrne. I don't know who Joe Byrne is. Who's Joe Byrne?
Joe Burns. Just I'll tap it. I'll do it quickly.
Very quickly. Yeah, very quick snippets. Yeah.
Don't force me, Fred. Right, no,
I have the button.
I know. Also, I did think your email address was King Forehead. I was like, what? And then I read it as Forehead. Okay, yeah. It was so like I said, I wanted to get in touch with people that I was a fan of.
Yeah.
And people that I respected, rated, either on the come up or people that have been around for a minute. So obviously said G, he's been around for the longest minute ever. And then so Joe Byrne is I think he's one of the dopest. You go and check him out. Go and check some of the videos on YouTube. He's just a killer MC. He reminds me. He's got a raggaresque type flow to him. He just reminds me of that. He's got that early UK flex to him, which a lot of people don't have. Which is that kind of that ragga influence, right? And he just destroys it. He's a killer.
I'll have to check him out then, because that's one of my favourite types of hip hop.
I'll link you up. I'll send you over some bits.
Please do, because that's my favourite type of hip hop. Ragga hip hop, definitely.
Juggernaut. So Juggernaut. Juggernaut is like he's just one of the dopest kids that now and has been. And it was a couple of years ago. I mean, God knows when I did this track with him, and I approached him probably for a year. I probably couldn't afford him now, you know. He was just like. He was just a guy that I just saw, and I was like, "You're just a monster. You're gonna be good." And he's just kind of he just bends that wave, you know, between being like contemporary, just dope, but modern, you know. So he's not like if you're like into like real early kind of stuff, you might not, you might understand it, but some people are too set in their ways, you know. But this guy's killing it. He's just out there, just so good. Who else? Greg Blackman, soul singer, incredible.
Right,
one of the best.
He's a soul singer, okay.
That track's amazing.
DJ R1.
DJ R1 is a French geezer. Yeah, I just do that Zaza skit with him because I like his beats. I like his stuff. Again, that's probably the homage. That's probably the homage to the kind of actually, well, here we go. If you haven't got time, I can't tell you about it. But I did this track and I just want to do it as a skit. It's just as an up tempo verse of just kind of like just rapping fast, just to show that I can do it with a few puffs of the inhaler. You know what I mean? And then did that. And then I did it. I sent it to Simon, and Simon was like, "Oh, specific." He was like, "I really like this. Can I do some cuts at the end of it?" And I was like, right, okay, so now all of a sudden this track's gone from being here to like here, and it was meant to be like a 60-second thing, and then he's like, then he comes back to me and goes, because it's up tempo, I'm going to use that go scratch from the Hard Noise thing, go, and I was like, okay, you want to use that? I said, I'm pals with AJ from Hard Noise, I'll get him to introduce you. So then AJ's on it, so it's AJ that goes, well, you say specific what? Right, so that's him that says that to introduce the Hard Noise thing. So it's the attention to detail.
Nice.
Right, so I got him to do that. But here's a funny thing. If you want to know a funny story, do you remember I love all the children, sound of play. When they get up, way. That's Rusty, Dominant Force.
Ranks.
Right, Rusty Ranks with Dominant Force, right?
Yeah.
So when I make my music and I'm doing an homage thing or whatever I'm doing, I'm like, right, how can you do something and just bring people back in, you know, or do something that people are going to appreciate it, you know, like, and go, oh, wow, that's cool. So I was speaking to Rusty, who was a real nice guy, you know, like just speaking to him. But the funny thing was, doing this track, right, it's real full on. And at the end, there's like, I just said to Ollie, because as a kind of a bit of a piss take to the whole kind of Britcore thing when it got a bit too much, you know, a bit too much. And it kind of lost a little bit of the funk essence and got a bit too militant, right? And a bit too much. So I just added in loads of gunshots. So there's gunshots, there's machine guns, explosions going at the end. And I was going to say, so that bit at the end where I say, you're left upon your deathbed. You don't want to step to this, you don't want to step, or whatever I'm saying at the end of it, I can't remember, right? But I thought that might be good done in a kind of more ragger-esque way. So I approached Rusty and said, do you want to do this? Do you want to just do this bit on it? It'd be quite a nice nod back to the old school. People would go, oh, it's Rusty from Dominant Force, bang. Right, and he was like, yeah, cool, yeah, we'll do it. It was cool, and he was like, yeah. He goes, as long as it's not, I don't want to do anything too militant or anything like that. He goes, because it's all about peace and love and like that. And I was like, yeah, maybe this isn't the track then, because you'd be doing that over gunshots and things like that. And I was like, well, maybe we do something different. But like, you know, because it was just one of those ones that I didn't think I could try and explain the kind of juxtaposition between the irony that I was trying to put in. And it isn't militant, it's just, whatever. But yeah, so he was on that. But yeah, that was cool. But yeah, so DJ, what?
Ramsden Bad Bones.
Rams and Bad Bones. John does the artwork done some artwork for him. Rams and Bad Bones is one of the illest rappers to come out of the UK in the past 10 years, 15 years. It's just incredible.
I'm sure there's a guy that, funny enough, because I'm a youth worker by trade, and years ago I worked with somebody in the outer west of Newcastle called Newbiggin Hall, and he was coming along and spitting on like over what we have up here called New Monkey, sort of like Gabba sound, sort of like, you know,
right.
And he went on to become a rapper, and
right.
And now he's a producer, and I think he produces for Rams and Bad Bones now. He's called Mark Fear. Do you know him?
I don't know. On the production side, apart unless I'm producing something, or you know, the production side of things.
Do you know him, John or Michael? Do you know him? Mark
Who?
Fear?
I've heard of him.
From the Animalistics. The Animalistics.
No.
Up here in Newcastle. I mean, they don't rap under that name anymore. I think the three of them now just do production. But I'm
the only people I know. I'll be honest. The only people I know up north. Sorry, from your from your ends, like the hip hop wise, is and then he says forgetting their name straight away. Warped Ethics, and Ken Masters.
Shout out to Ken.
And John, obviously not as a. Oh no! So John says he has got bars though. So John says he's got.
Keep some of these lockers.
Warped Ethics are from your area, aren't they, John?
Sorry?
Warped Ethics are from your original area, Cramlington.
From Cramlington, yeah.
They're good guys. Well, I did a track with them years ago, but we never finished it. I don't know. That was my fault because I was meant to finish it and get it back to them. But they were good back in the day. You know, they were still doing little bits here and there. You know, I think Fireball Flingers. It does. I mean, I don't do that kind of that hard stuff anymore. You know, but it's not because I dislike it. I want to make that clear. It's not because I turn my nose up at it. It's just because I do different things. Everyone's different, right? You know, like I don't have to kind of stay here. I kind of go there. I know there's some people, especially in UK hip hop, that are stuck in an era, and I don't hate them for it. Cool, blessings, do your thing, stay there, whatever. It doesn't matter. My opinion isn't stronger than yours. You know, it isn't about being open-minded. It's just what you like. You know, your time is your own time throughout your day. You get one life. Listen to what you want to listen to, right? Cool. You know, if you don't want to go, you don't want to listen to whatever, don't do it. But yeah,
just bring it down then. So just to go back over, obviously your album, it's out in sometime in the new year, end of January, February.
January, late January, it'll be available. By the way, there's limited edition tins that you can buy, by the way, which come with the test press. There's only 10 of these available. There's 10 of these available, which comes with the test press. The test press, which is only 10 of them, which is that test press there. I think, have you got a better version of this, John? Because It comes with like loads of little A4 prints of stuff that's on the artwork for the album.
Nice.
How can a dude get his hands on one of those then?
Well, I mean, it comes with an Uncle Mic Nitro mask. Get it on, John. Look, yeah. That's bad. That's bad. Yeah, that's bad.
So asking the question, how would somebody pre-order that?
You need to get it. So they're going to go live. I think they're going to go live probably early next week. And there was only 10 available. And you get them from hiphopbebop.com.
hiphopbebop.com.
And it comes with so you get stickers. There's an Uncle Mic Nitro mask, which is just a piss take, obviously. It comes with a signed limited 7 of the Bod Gets Slapped Up record. Yeah. The Uncle Mic Nitro mask, which is what everyone will be paying it. I think it's $49.99, but with that $49.99, you get the signed 7, you get the test press, of which there's only 10, 11, 12 copies of that in existence. Obviously, it means you'll get it over a month in advance from when it's available. Oh, you get a T-shirt. You get a T-shirt. There's a black T-shirt of this. There's a black T-shirt available of this, which comes with it. So there's loads of stuff, loads of stickers, loads of artwork.
So obviously, there's going to be a lot of disappointed people because a lot of people are going to want that, and there's only 10 of them. So
yeah, there's 10, and I think 5 have already gone. I think 5. I'll speak.
How can 5 go and it's not even out yet? That's a bit bizarre. John,
well, yeah, but like, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You know, because we're in an industry where the funny thing is we're in an industry where people do care about vinyl, and you get vinyl vandals, vinyl fanatics. You get vinyl, people that are into it that want the test press. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? People kind of fiend for the test press. So I don't get it because for me, I'm like, I'll listen to it digitally or won't listen to it. But people are like, right, I want the test press, and I'm like, cool. That's it. So when there's only 10 available, and when you're within this network of which we're in, which isn't a massive fraternity, then obviously that's why it is. When I speak to Sean, and he's like, oh, I think 5 of them have already gone now. So you're kind of like, well, okay, they'll go live next week. The $49.99, but that's for the T-shirt, the 7, the album, the stickers, the whatever. It's loads of stuff.
So when the 5 have gone, because 5 have already gone. So when the 5 have gone, okay, what can people get after that? Can they still buy T-shirts? Can they still buy
there's T-shirts available. This T-shirt but in black. So this T-shirt's in black. John's probably got a black one. So there's black T-shirts available from sizes from I think there's from large. There's posters. So I've got all these posters done, which are like kind of on heavy grain, on heavy GSM paper. They look done, and that basically goes through. That's the kind of I'm trying to point to it, but I can't see my finger. Where is it? There it is. So there you go. There's that was the original kind of demo one.
Yeah, there's one there. Okay.
Press artwork. Then you've got the one there, which is as we developed it and went for the white, and then you've got the pink there, which is how it. And you get those. That's the album cover, the pink one. Yeah. You can get those available through John. They'll be available through John. John's taking care of those posters. T-shirts will be available through hiphopbebop.com. The album, the proper vinyl will be available end of January. Just waiting for those to come back. Yeah, featuring Kalashnikov, Greg Blackman, Juggernaut, Joe Burns, Michael Parkinson.
Ryan Mack.
You've got 2 of the best scratch DJs in the UK on there. DJ Tones and Jabba.
I was going to say, listen, Ridder, honestly, I appreciate the plug, but listen, as we would wrap this up, I was going to say, look, because I'm not like that, and I know you don't mean that, but I would give massive shout outs to. So I worked with my last album, and I know that DJs sometimes get a bit precious about not having shouts. Same way with artists, and I always say to John, plug all your stuff on my stuff. Don't hesitate to put your name on it. I'll always say to him, just put your name on it. Don't ask, put it on there. Same with the DJs. Always make sure to get a mention. Jabba the Cut, DJ Tones. They're my go-to guys. Just the dopest. Honestly, like if you listen to like Jabba's cuts on the end of I Am Volcano on Mindstate Krakatoa, if you listen to Tones's cuts on the end of Fukushima or from Mindstate Krakatoa, incredibly ill. If you listen to this new album, if you listen to Jabba's cuts on the end of like that one with Kalashnikov on. That doing what we're doing is finally done. That Reign Supreme cut that he does on the end of there is dope. And Tones' cuts on the end of Snap Your Neck with the track that I do with Joe Byrne sends shivers up my spine. It just comes in. It just goes, Burn, Nitro. it's just a killer. Man, so they're just the dopest guys. For me, the best in the UK, man. You know, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, so just to bring it in. Let's bring it in. So I'm just gonna get some quick answers from you. Album. We've said when the album comes out.
Yeah.
Where people can buy it from Hip Hop Bebop. Is that right?
Hip Hop Bebop, yeah. Is that? Do you know what, John? Is it like? Let me just make sure. It's Hip Hop Bebop, but I'm just thinking, is it hiphopbebop.com or .co.uk? I don't want to be a div.
I'll advertise it anyway. I'll search it and find it, and I'll put it.
He's on Facebook. You can just tag him in on Facebook, and
right. Okay, I'll post it all up when this is coming out. It'll all be on there anyway. Where can people get your back catalogue from?
Well, there you go. Who knows?
Discogs is the best place for Dark Craftsman stuff.
Yeah. Although like I said, I was only joking about these, but I've got a few of these for sale. I'm not for sale. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I want one of them. That's the only one I haven't got.
Put me down for one of them. I'll send you a message, and if we can get one across to us, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll send you over. I'll send you those.
Not bragging anything. I'll always pay, so that's not a problem. Like I said before.
I think the Mindstate Krakatoa album. The thing is that I don't know whether Beeline. I'm not sure whether they've still got. They used to have like what's those websites? I can't remember where you could sell stuff through. I can't remember what it was. They used to have one with all the stuff on it, but I'm not.
Big Cartel, isn't it?
That was it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, I think Simon was revamping it, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'll speak to Hip Hop Bebop. Probably is the one to go through now because that's where the new album is. If Simon's got any copies of Mindset Krakatoa, which I would strongly suggest you listen to if you haven't, because I think it's a dope album.
Yeah, but on Spotify in readiness for this. So yeah,
I don't do anything on Spotify. What will happen is after the vinyl's available. After the vinyl's available late January, I will then go this year because this will be the last stuff I'm doing rap-wise because I'm just old and I've done what I want to say. I haven't got anything more to say at the moment. Never say never, but I don't think I'm going to probably do anything more because this will be the 4th album that I've dropped. I did another album earlier on, which I think is available for free still on Bandcamp because I had about 20 odd tracks of old stuff, which is available, which has got some great tracks on there. Loads of things, man. You know, we need to do this in 3 parts. This is ridiculous, but like so much. So that's 4 albums that I would have released after this one. 1 on CD, 2, 3 studio albums, 1 compilation that I just gave away for free on Bandcamp because this was taking a while. 1 album with the Pickpockets that hasn't come out, and I've done enough, right? I think I've done enough, and I don't want to labour the point. If I ain't got nothing to say, what's the point in saying it? There's a time when you need to hang it up, right, and just walk away gracefully and go, cool. If something reignites me to come back in, we'll look at it. But as it is now, it's like, I've done what I wanted to do, and it's time to set up to new things. I've got another music project that I'm working on with a guy called Pete Devereaux, who's with Artful Dodger, if you know Artful Dodger, and it's kind of more of electro-y kind of electro-pop kind of thing. But it's good, it's cool, it's sounding good, and I've always been a songwriter. I've been a songwriter forever, and I just like to do different things. I've served my time. I've done what I've done with hip hop. I love it. It would always be my first love. But you've got to move on and do certain different things. So
John, just bring you back into it there, just as we're wrapping up now.
Don't bother.
So just like if there's anything that you're working on that you can share with us, so is any other artists that you're working with that you
got his walks to a men cap.
Go on, John, it's over to you.
Just more of these, really. More of these.
big things that I'm working on, genuinely, and I can't even say who they are, but they're big.
Right. Okay.
Grinder pin up of the month.
Is that day job stuff or is this music stuff?
Music stuff. Bigger than this clown.
Ooh, he doesn't like it up him. He likes dishing it out.
I wish I could say who it was, but
you can tell us off air then, if you don't mind telling us.
Dido. It's Dido. Okay. He's teaching how to play bongos.
And John, of course, you've been entertaining with your little comedy videos. Have you got many more of them planned?
We need to send you guys. I should have done this. I should have sent you the video. We've done a video, haven't we, to advertise this. I don't know whether people are going to think that it's brilliant or that we're just a bunch of wankers. Probably the latter.
If you can send us so we can advertise it before this comes out. Yeah, that would be great if you could do that. Yeah.
Listen, I turned around to Simon Specific, right, and I said, Simon, I said you're going to advertise this album to a contemporary digital media audience. I said, how long do you think you've got to grab their attention? He went, about 20 seconds. I said, exactly. That's why we've done an 11-minute video. Why? Because fuck the world.
And on that note,
on that bombshell, check the gun.
Riddler, have you got any last words?
Just want to say thanks to you two, because it's been very, very entertaining, and I think I got it right when I said terrible twins.
No, I love it.
I've listened to the new album.
What do you think?
Now. I think.
What do you think of the album?
I think it's very, very different. All the tracks are different, and that's what's going to make it very good. I mean, there's a disco track on there. Come on, that right is it's like a disco-y beat on it, and it's got that Greg Blackman singing on it.
Yeah.
Tell you the other one I like, the Keep Drinking record.
Riddler, this is last words. This is last words.
It's a very, very 80s sounding, like Kraftwerky type sort of.
Okay.
Am I right in saying that? I don't know.
Yes, it's just different. I don't know whether it's disco. It's a funk rip that I've nicked from Stevie Wonder, which I'm going to get a cease and desist for. But yeah, anyway, it's just different things. Anyway, listen, as we wrap this up, listen, I've got to say big up to my man, honestly, John Dyer, just the best, man. Just been the best wingman I could have ever had for the past 2 projects that I've done. Honestly, love the geezer to bits. Brilliant guy, great friend. I want to say big up to Specific, and massive shout out to Sean, for coming on board from Hip Hop Bebop, because without him, his passion and his kind of impetus to get in and really drive this over the line has been fantastic. So big up to them, big up to everyone involved. Massive shout outs to Jabba and Cut and Tones, all the people involved, Ollie Knight, Ryan Mack, all the producers, Speaks, Michael Parkinson, Klashnikov, everyone that's on the album, Juggernaut, Joe Byrne, Greg Blackman, Ramson Bad Bones. It's a great album. Go and check it. It'll be a burner, but you come back to it in 10 years and go, he was right. It was the best.
Where's he running away to? I've just come to you. Where you going?
That was the point. That was the point to wrap it up, Fred. There. That was the point.
I was going to turn the heating down, honestly. All
right, well, just, again, John, just to you, thanks, obviously, for all that you do in the hip-hop community. Thanks for what you, obviously, from the bridge to all of the pictures, all the logos that you do. It's spot on, and obviously keep doing it, because we love it. We desperately want to get you on our Favourite 5 show, John, so please get in touch with us. If we could record it over the Christmas holidays, that would be brilliant.
John, on the Favourite 5, just make sure that 2 of them are Mind State Krakatoa and... Sorry, is this not cut? Shit. Yeah, John, if you don't do it, I'm going to edit out that bit where I said respect to you.
Come out. On that note, I'm just going to wrap it up and just say this is the last sort of like interview. We're obviously, this goes out this week, so you'll see it at the end of this week. Goes out on Friday, so in 2 days' time. Then obviously after this, so I'm just telling you now, tune in the week after, which will be on the 28th for a special, like a Vinyl Vandals Favourite 5 special. So tune into that, and then catch us in January when we start on January 8th. Yeah. So thanks very much everybody who's tuned in this year to the Vinyl Vandals, and stay locked. Don't forget DJ Radio Show every Monday night on Method Radio, and keep safe this Christmas.
Hey, stay safe.
Because we want to make sure that we don't have to keep on being locked up. So please keep safe and be sensible. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody, and thank you.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Have a good time. Thank you. Peace out, yo. Big up.
Thank you, lads. Excellent.
Cheers.
Blessings.